Warning. I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
Communism, an international, conspiratorial drive for power on the part of men in high places willing to use any means to bring about their desired aim. Global conquest. If you wanted a national monopoly, you must control a national socialist government. If you want a worldwide monopoly, you must control a world socialist government. That is, what the game is all communism is not a movement of the downtrodden masses, but is movement created, manipulated, and used by power-seeking billionaires in order to gain control over the world, first by establishing socialist governments in the various nations, and then consolidating them all through a great merger into an all-powerful world socialist super-state, probably under the auspices of the United Nations.
Communism will win. That's not a joke. That will happen. It will win because we must go down to a single-class society. Now, after capitalism, in its late stages as it is right now, we will move down to a one-class system called communism. Democratic and anarchist communism will be the ideology of the future.
My only question is, shouldn't I be at work? I'm on my lunch break. I ran home to do this real quick. I just finished None Call It a Conspiracy by Gary Allen. The book was written in 1971. I see a lot of it playing out.
A world government requires a world Supreme Court, and a world government must have a world police force to enforce the laws of the world superstate and keep the slaves from rebelling. Not surprisingly, the insiders have their pet planners preparing to administrate their world dictatorship, operating under grants from the Ford, Carnegie, and Rockefeller foundations, all extensively interlocked with the CPR. A battery of scientists are making plans to control people. These elite planners conduct exercises in what they call the world game. For example, there are too many people in country A and not enough people in country B. How do you move people from country A to country B? We need so many males, so many females, so many of this occupation, and so many of that occupation, so many of this age, and so many of that age. How do you get these people from country A and settle them in country B in the shortest possible time? The world game people run exercises on global control. If you plan on running the world, you cannot go about it haphazardly. The real name of the game is 1984. We will have systematic population reduction, forced sterilization, or anything else which the planners deem necessary to establish absolute control in their humanitarian utopia. But to enforce these plans, you must have an all-powerful world government. You can't do this if individual nations have sovereignty. And before you can facilitate the great merger, you must first centralize control within each nation, destroy the local police, and remove the guns from the hands of the citizenry. You must replace our once free constitutional republic with an all-powerful central government. What we are witnessing is the communist tactic of pressure from above and pressure from below, described by communist historian Jan Kozak as the device used by the Reds to capture control of Czechoslovakia. The pressure from above comes from secret, ostensibly respectable comrades in the government and establishment, forming, with the radicalized mobs in the streets below, a giant pincer around middle-class society. The street rioters are pawns, shills, puppets, and dupes for an oligarchy of elitist conspirators, working above to turn America's limited government into an unlimited government with total control over our lives and property. The American middle class is being squeezed to death by a vice. In the streets, we have avowed revolutionary groups such as
Antifa, Resist, Black Lives Matter, and Extinction Rebellion, to name a few.
These groups chant that if we don't change America, we will lose it. Change is a word we hear over and over. By change, these groups mean socialism. Virtually all members of these groups sincerely believe that they are fighting the establishment. In reality, they are an indispensable ally of the establishment in fastening socialism on all of us. The naive radicals think that under socialism, the people will run everything. Actually, it will be a clique of insiders in total control, consolidating and controlling all wealth. That is why these schoolboy Lenins and teenage Trotskys are allowed to roam free and are practically never arrested or prosecuted. They are protected. If the establishment wanted the revolutionaries stopped, how long do you think they would be tolerated? Instead, we find that most of these radicals are the recipients of largesse from major foundations or are receiving money from the government through the war on poverty. The Rothschild-Rockefeller insiders at the top surrendered to demands for socialism from the mobs below. The radicals are doing the work of those whom they hate the most. That is the strategy. The landscape painters focus your attention on the kids in the street, while the real danger is from above. As Frank Capel recently observed in the review of the news. Of course, we know that these radical students are not going to take over the government. What they are going to do is provide the excuse for the government to take over the people by passing more and more representative laws to keep things under control.
You saw that flag, right? With the cross on it? That's a known white supremacist symbol. So them going around pushing their Christianity on people who aren't even necessarily Christian, their obsession with their holiday, their obsession with freedom of speech marks that they want to hurt people.
What the fuck is he talking about?
Because they are more obsessed with their rights than they are the basic decencies that people deserve. These people have a disdain for human rights.
This guy's crazy.
I'm right over here. You can come and get me if you want.
Ooh, that had to hurt. Maybe it'll knock some fucking sense into him. Fucking stoned.